Welcome to OSSB Inside and Out, a podcast about staff member and alumni experiences at the Ohio State School for the Blind. Each week, we interview someone from the Ohio State School for the Blind about their experiences. Now here's your host, Brendon Hamblin.
Welcome back to the podcast. This week, I have my best friend from the Ohio State School for the Blind, Billy Brandon. And before we get on to him, I want to mention that the podcast can be now found on iHeartRadio and all the other podcast apps. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Billy, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good.
That's good, man.
Yes, it is. It's better than not being good.
Yeah, well, good. Definitely.
100%. So it's been a long time since you and I have talked. So
yeah, it's been many years, honestly, since I picked up the phone.
many moons. Well, it's been a while since we've talked other than tech problems or tech.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've caught up, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So, what's new with you since you graduated from OSSB in what year did you graduate?
2014.
So I thought that was.
When did you graduate? Did you do 16?
I was the class of 2016. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Well, I've done a lot of stuff since I've left. It's been what? Oh my God, 5 years? It's too many years.
Something like that. 6 years. Because it's 2020 now.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Well, to start, I'm married, living on my own with my wife, and we have a kid now, so all that exciting stuff, jumping straight to the end of the story.
All the grown-up stuff.
Yeah, right. I do a lot of social networking, marketing stuff. I have a lot of different social media profiles where I've entertained thousands of people over the past few years, and working on a couple of side projects, and I also am in sales, so I'm doing a lot of different stuff.
I would say
Jack
so.
of all trades, if you will.
Nothing wrong with that. At least you're keeping busy.
Right.
So, going back to our days at OSSB, what are some of the most memorable memories that you have from, whether it be staying in the cottages or dorms as they call them now? Either way, they're still the same thing. But whether it be to the band trips that we did, or did you do any sports? I forget.
Yeah, I did actually. I did swimming, and I did, if you want to count forensics a sport, for the last portion of my schooling years.
We'll count it. It's along there with the sports anyway. That's how they categorize it. So.
Team.
So, what are some of the best memories or worst memories that you have?
Well, the first thing that would immediately pop into my head would be the Rose Bowl parade in 2010. Honestly, I think that was one of the trademarks of my time there at the school. But I don't want to be too, obvious. No duh, that's your, most memorable memory. So
right.
We'll go a little bit more exotic, if you will. I have a lot of memories of doing the morning announcements for the school. I did that for many, many years. I think most of my middle school and high school time was I did the announcements for the school. I prepped some material every morning and would broadcast it over the sound system. So I had a lot of fun with that. And it actually led me into my love of video editing, because for a short period of time, and I cringingly still have these videos on my phone somewhere. I did video-based announcements for the school where I would, string a bunch of clips together, and that's kind of what got me into video editing, which led me into YouTube. So a lot of different fun stuff came from that.
I can see why.
Those were a lot of fun. You remember those?
I remember those. I remember the frickin' frack segments from Miss Wilson, too.
Oh, yeah. That was a little bit before my time with the announcements.
Maybe. I guess it was because.
Yeah, I didn't do the frickin' frack. I wasn't there for those.
Aha. So I'm even aging myself.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm sure you were there
I have a
because.
cold too, so if I start breaking down in coughs. No, I remember the segments. I just wasn't a part of them in the announcements.
Right.
booth.
You started doing the announcements after we got into the new building, quote unquote new building.
Yeah,
correct?
I did them a little bit in the old building too. I did them when Miss Saxton came in for the English teaching.
Yeah, after Miss Wilson retired. Yeah,
and then came back at 11th grade. Yeah, that was funny.
That was pretty fun. Best English teacher ever.
Yeah, she's good. I liked her style. I like both of them, though. They're both good.
Yeah.
Different reasons.
Exactly. They were both good.
But, anyways, I don't know if I'm on a tangent there, but I guess this is kind of what this is about. You know, you get into memories, you're going to go into
right. And we got
fields of different stuff.
Right. And we got plenty of time, so.
Okay. Another thing I remember, and you'll probably like these, the trips we went on as cottages, you know, the recreational activities we would do.
Yes, I remember them very well.
The gym ones, but all the different ones.
Back in the days when we actually
ice cream times.
Yeah, back in the days when we actually used to do stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's back when I'm going all the way back even to when Mr. Garrison was our the guy in our dorm, house parent. There you go. I'm forgetting terminology all of a sudden.
It happens. Yeah, Mr. Garris was a good guy. Made sure we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was a card.
Now, one memory that sticks out, and I'm not sure if you were there or if this was before your time, but we were on our way to, I believe it was Franklin Park Conservatory, and we were in one of the vans, one of the school vans, on our way there, and the tornado sirens started going off. And you knowing me and how I am with storms, I started freaking out.
I remember. I think I remember that. Yeah, we were coming back from. It was on our way back, right?
It was either on our way back or it was on our way there. I don't exactly remember.
The details are fuzzy.
Yeah,
the details are fuzzy, but I do remember that occurrence. Yes,
I remember
that was an event.
And I remember Mr. Garris driving down into the yard in front of B2, the boys' cottage that we were in at the time, and saying, "Hallway now," or something along those lines.
Yeah, and then the power was out for a while too, wasn't it? After that, or
I'm sure it was.
Thing I'm thinking of.
We lost power a couple times. We might have lost power then. I don't remember.
Yeah, the details, like I said, they get fuzzy sometimes. But here's a fun one. I don't remember. I don't know if you were in the cottage at this time or if you were, because I know at one point in time you started going home a couple times a week, and I don't remember if that was during this. But do you remember the fire alarm incident at like 12 a.m.? I don't think you were there.
I'm not sure I do, but I remember hearing about it.
It was me and James in the room. James
Wilson?
Oh, I'm forgetting his last name. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, James Wilson.
And the reason I remember and I found it was funny was because I slept through like the first minute and a half of the thing. I was not awake, and I woke up like all confused, thinking someone's like phone alarm was going off because like my ears hadn't turned on yet or something. I don't know. And I was like, oh, someone turned that alarm off.
I would have been woke up. I would have been woke up immediately.
Yeah, I was awake, but I was so like delirious, like I had no idea what was even going on, and like it didn't seem that loud to me when I was like just waking up, and I was walking out into the hallway, like where is this sound coming from? I'm just trying to turn off the thing because it's like obnoxious. I'm like, what is going on?
It's
and I'm like
supposed to
shouting for people, like
it's supposed to be obnoxious.
The whole cottage was empty. Everyone had already left the cottage, and I was just in there alone, wandering around. Like, where did everyone go? And then all of a sudden, my brain clicks on, and I'm like, oh, that's a fire alarm. I need to get out of here.
Right.
And then I stumble outside. I think I was like barefoot, and it was freezing. And one of the housemates, Miss Cooper, I think maybe, she was like,
it's
what
possible.
are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, coming out here. And she's like, come on, everyone's already halfway through the school. And I was like, okay. I remember that. That was just really funny since you got on emergency situations.
Right.
There was me sleeping through the fire alarm. I don't know if anyone could ever do that, but that, there you go. Credit it to me because I did it.
If anyone did it, you did it.
And it was like 20 degrees. It was like winter or something. It was like November, December, or, February or something. It was like freezing.
Right.
We were all gathered in the school hallway, both boys and girls, because they all went off, and we're all just like, what even happened? I think one of the house parents ended up like burning some toast in the girls' cottages or something, and it like set off the whole thing.
Right. Was that in the C cottages, or was that when the boys' cottages were still standing?
That was in the C cottages because, I remember going into the school to do that back hallway by the elementary section.
Aha. I couldn't remember when that was either because I didn't know if it was before they tore down the B cottages to build the that abomination of a new building, but
they ever get all the kinks worked out of that thing?
No, they didn't. It's still falling apart.
Nope.
The old building will be there long after that building will be gone, and you and I both know that.
Probably. Yeah, most definitely. Well, that old building was like built to withstand a raid.
It was built when they knew. It was built when they knew how to build stuff, unlike today. But what can you do?
Yeah, right.
Let's see.
But anyways, what else?
I know there's more.
You got anything that you specifically remember? I remember.
I got to think.
I remember the busy days when we had to share. Remember when we shared a room with like 3 different dudes?
I remember when there were 3 of us to a room, and then later on, when we were still in the C cottages before they moved us into the new buildings, it was just the 2 of us.
We had a room to ourselves for a while, but then there was like when people were staying over for sports or something.
Yeah, for Pee Wee sports.
I remember we had like, it was like you, me, and then like 2 other guys. I don't specifically. I think it was. I'm drawing blanks all of a sudden. I don't remember who it was. I just remember it being very crowded. It was very fun though, because it was always you get a bunch of dudes together. It's going to be wild and fun.
We did have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And then I remember the pool nights where we used to go to the pool in the evenings for rec. Those were
fun. I preferred those over the gym.
I prefer anything over the gym. It's like, what are you going to go do? Lay on the mats? Stare at the ceiling? I mean, let's go do something else. I mean, you could have got on the treadmill, but who wants to do that for fun? Really?
For what? Do what now?
Run on the treadmill for fun. That's not fun.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I mean, hey, got to be healthy, but I mean, we get enough gym time during the day.
Exactly. We did get enough gym time during the day. One period was enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. I remember all of the different classes, especially towards the end of my junior and senior years. I took a couple of fun classes because, once you're in your senior year, you can kind of pick a little bit more flexibility.
With or with extracurricular, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually did advanced chemistry, which was a lot of fun. And then in the home economics class, we actually learned how to, we were cooking a lot of different meals and stuff at that point in time. That was always fun to do.
I would say so. I always had fun in home ec.
Yeah, it's always pretty fun, except when you had to do the cleaning stuff.
Yeah, or as they call it now, independent living skills, but to us, it's still home ec.
Yeah, I remember they changed that, or were trying to change it when I was a senior, I think.
Yeah, they went from home ec to daily living skills, and now it's independent living skills, which I can kind of see. I can understand that. It's understandable.
I think the name, it makes sense, yeah. I had a thought, and now I'm forgetting what it was. I liked back to music. There was a time when I was the band president for my last year, my whole last year, right?
I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, it was your last year, yeah.
Yeah, and then they did that, and then so that was a lot of fun. I got to lead class a few times when Miss Agler had to go take care of other stuff.
Right.
So I helped us with our routines, and that was a lot of fun to do. And then into classes again, Mr. Kelly's class, does he still work there?
Yeah, he's still there. He's still in the same position he was when we were there.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
A lot of the same teachers are still there. We've had a few departures, but that says to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, over time, retirements and stuff, people switching out.
Right.
But I did a tech class under him, where in my senior year, I would help him teach the 9th graders. I think it was. Yeah, it was the 9th grade class. So I would help him and help him in class, run and get his coffee a few times. It was fun. But he taught me all about audio processing too, how to mix and master audio recordings and stuff in my 10th or 11th grade year. And again, kind of, you look back at these memories and you realize, oh, that's why I'm, good
where
at
I
these
am
things,
today.
and that's why I'm interested in this sort of stuff. The learning how to mix and master audio, and now when I produce videos, that's part of the task is to mix and master the audio. And I don't use the same software I did at the school, but the same concept applies.
Right, and the same concept applies in radio, just minus the video part. So
yeah,
and I went to school for
really
that,
cool.
So I learned all that too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, very cool.
You were going to say something?
Yeah. Nope, I wasn't. I was thinking about saying something, and then I decided to not say anything.
Right. One of the major memories of both of our times was, I'm sure, marching with the OSU marching band, being the only high school marching band to ever march with OSU.
Yeah, that was something else. And for some reason that memory wasn't popping up, so thank you for bringing that up.
No problem.
But yeah, I also remember they kicked the other team's butt too. It was like 78 to 10 or something. That halftime show was a lot of fun because I got to do the Braille eye dot.
You and Boniface,
tuba players. Yeah, me and him, we dotted the I, and with the OSU eye dotter. So that was actually really, really cool for me, and I know that was a big thing for everyone in our band because, I mean, come on now, who does that, right? That's
right.
Amazing.
Who gets that opportunity?
Right. I mean, that's once in a lifetime kind of things. It's a lot of it was a lot of fun, that's for sure.
I would say so. And then I just learned from doing my last podcast with Miss Agler that we may get the opportunity to do that again. The current OSU band director wants us to come back and do it all again. So,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that gives the current band members or future band members the opportunity that we got. Which,
that's really, really cool for them.
Yeah, I would say so. And there's talks about the band going to London. Wait
a second.
If we can raise the funds, we are in charge of raising the funds.
That would be a very expensive trip.
Very expensive, yes.
I'd say you're probably looking at $3,000 a person?
More, possibly. I'm not exactly sure.
Now, there's been a few times I've budgeted vacations for London out of curiosity, and it's, for two people to go, it's, between $1,500 and $2,000.
Right.
And that's a really budget vacation, so I couldn't imagine.
Right.
But focusing on the band point, first of all, that's really exciting that they're doing that. Even the chance to go to London is pretty awesome in and of itself.
Exactly. I would say so.
You're going to have a lot of fundraisers.
No kidding.
But back to the topic of the band, sort of related here. It's just kind of funny because my wife now was from California, and when I was in California, I found out later when I met her that I was literally like 30 minutes away from her house. It's just kind of a funny thought because it's like how everything sort of kind of connects back around to each other, Yeah. So that's kind of neat.
And then
you just never know these things.
Right. It's amazing how small the world is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I was like, that's just a really neat thing.
Yeah.
Remember the Basement Rec Center?
Yes.
That was fun.
They don't use that for rec anymore. They use the gym now for parties.
Yeah, I figured they wouldn't use it much anymore. Do they use it for anything anymore, or is it just sort of just chilling down there?
I'm not exactly sure. I do know the boiler room caught on fire, so...
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, that's lovely. I haven't actually been down there, but that's as to be expected. I'm only visiting, so... Yeah.
Right, yeah.
The Seattle trip.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I love the Seattle trip. What'd you think about it? Did you like it?
It was an amazing first... Well, that was my first year in band, so that was an amazing first...
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you didn't... Were you not in there for the Rose Parade?
No, that was my sixth grade year, so I joined the...
I keep forgetting that you're my age, but 2 grades back. I keep forgetting that. And then I was like, surely he was in the Rose Parade. And then I'm like, no, I don't think he was. And,
right.
Yeah.
I should have graduated with you, but I got held back twice, so there's that.
But the Seattle thing was actually really cool. And here's why I like the Seattle trip. It was like our only trip in general, including local parades. It was an extremely short parade. So, like, the physical work that was involved in that trip was very minimalistic. So that means we had a lot of time to explore the city and enjoy what the city had to offer, which is a lot. We went on those duck rides with those.
Those were fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed those. And we drove on all trains.
Yeah, the tour guides were fabulous. Hilariously fabulous.
I liked all of the Starbucks.
Of course you did.
I was like hundreds of Starbucks. And I'm
Mr.
kind of
Coffee Drinker.
Where I live, what?
Mr. Coffee Drinker.
Yeah, I know. Well, where I live now, there's only like a few Starbucks like within a few miles. So it's like I like the Seattle idea. Just put them on every corner and
Right. And then I forget what museum that was that's shaped like a guitar. That's out there. I don't remember, but that was cool too.
Did we go to a museum?
Yeah, we went to a museum one of the days. I remember. I just don't remember.
I'm sure we did. I'm just drawing a blank all of a sudden on. It was like. Because I'm confused because we went to the Rock and Roll Museum in Los Angeles as well, and I think that was also a music-related museum in Seattle, but now I've merged the two together and I can't seem to separate them, and I don't remember which one was which.
I know the giant guitar, looking at it from the sky, was in Seattle because I was there.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I just don't remember what was inside the museum.
I don't remember either, but I'd have to go back through pictures to look.
Yeah. And then we went to the Pike Place Market. That was cool. Remember that?
Vaguely.
Where they throw the fish around?
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember seeing them throwing any fish, but I remember it.
Yeah, I know it's the place where they throw fish. I don't think they did when we were there, though. They weren't doing it at the moment.
It's what they're known for.
But yeah, it's one of the. There's like a stat. It's like one of the largest open markets in America. It's huge.
Yes, it is.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I would say something like that.
It's close. There's a statistic there somewhere that it's known for.
We're just not sure what that statistic. Yeah, what that is.
Google it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. If you're listening, go Google it, and then find a statistic, and then email Brendon about it, and then he'll mention it in the next show.
Something like that. Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Remember all of the band camps, and then the band camps. The first night we would always walk a ridiculous amount of miles to some event. Every year.
Just up
I think
to
almost every year.
That was just up to Worthington. That wasn't a ridiculously amount of walking. Well, I'm sure it felt like. I'm sure it felt like it.
Mile.
I'm sure. It probably felt like it, but it wasn't really that far. Because we had to do all the back roads. Because we went out the back gate of the school.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, there was different things we went to. There was that one thing at Worthington, and then there was one jazz band or something performing. I don't know. She would always plan some kind of event on Sunday nights, and
some relaxing event.
It was fun.
That didn't make us work.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of band camp, our house parent those weeks were pretty much always Mr. Kelly, which means we got the.
Oh my gosh!
You know where I'm going with this.
Wake-up call.
I was going to say, you know where I'm going with this.
Oh my goodness, man! I remember that I forgot, and now I remember, and now that's hilarious because I remember it was like what 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, I remember hating Mr. Kelly for that.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny! Pounding on the walls and the doors. Wake up!
Yelling at the top of his lungs, yeah.
Didn't one year he bring his trumpet in there?
I'm pretty sure he did.
I think one year he had a trumpet involved.
That's what I was thinking, but I'm pretty sure he did.
Or it could just be his extremely loud voice, and I may have just mistaken it in a dreamlike state for a trumpet, but I think one point in time there was definitely a trumpet involved.
I'm sure he did the wake-up call for the military at one point.
Oh, goodness.
And then there were the trips up to the Hathaway Brown School.
Oh, with the orchestra.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Jamie about those the other day. Those were really fun.
Those were really fun.
To make music on such a big scale with so many instruments is always a lot of fun. Doesn't matter what the instruments are, even if it's like a big choir singing together, that's always a cool experience.
Yes, it is. It is very cool. And then...
don't forget about Clark Montessori up here or down here in the Cincy area.
I'm glad you
Were you there for that?
I was there for most of them till they stopped doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to 2 or 3 of those.
I love the sound of steel drums.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. They came up to OSSB a few times too.
Yeah, those were the ones where they came up to us, are the ones that I remember. I never went to to their place. I was
you never went to the school?
I was either at home for snow day or sick, or I just managed to miss it somehow.
I'm sure something came up. Yeah, their school was pretty fun too, because there was a lot of they had a lot of events scheduled. There was a lot of educational events and stuff too. It was pretty fun. We performed at their school. I think we did that twice, or was it only once? Maybe we were there for a weekend, and I think we only did it once.
Right.
Yeah, and then every other time they came up there.
Yeah, every other time they came up to us.
Yeah.
And then getting into, I think do you remember whenabouts I started the OSSB chapter of Rise Above? Was it my ninth? It was when the principal nobody liked was there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, your 9th grade year, I believe.
That sounds about right. I can't believe I did that for 4 years. And now it's...
Yeah, I can't believe that
Now
either.
it's history.
Yeah, well, you know.
That's what That's what happens, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you start some and then, it takes a lot of effort to get someone to take it over,
Yeah.
But that was really cool that you did that for so long.
I would say so, and you had some help in that too. A little bit more help.
I co-hosted a few of your meetings with you.
I went through assistant directors quite a bit, it seemed like.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed my time helping out with that though when I was there. That was a fun event, a fun club that you had together. I think I stepped down though because the band and then all the other classes I was doing. That was my junior year, and then so things were super busy your junior year.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
Trying to think, what else was there that I'm missing? There's got to be some.
The general vibe, was a lot of fun. The general experience of the school, I think, was a lot of fun, a lot of memories overall made.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's just when you gather a bunch of kids in one place for 8 years, there's a lot of memories that are going to happen.
Right.
You got to find the good ones and just enjoy the memories that you experienced.
Exactly.
And then build new ones.
Yep. And then you remember how dark and gloomy it was when Principal Miller was there after Markham retired, right? Yeah,
I remember a lot of. Now the weird thing is, I remember a lot of people having issues. The weird thing was, I never seemed to have too many problems with her. I mean, she wasn't. It wasn't Mr. Markham, but yeah, I do remember not having too many issues with her as other students did. But yes, it was definitely not Mr. Markham. That's for sure.
It was definitely a different environment when she showed up, to say the least.
When did she? She retired a year after I left, I think.
I'm pretty sure.
She was there through my senior year.
It might have been that December that she retired, and that was the best Christmas present I have ever received.
Oh, goodness. Can we say these things? No.
Hey, it's my podcast. I don't care.
Bullshit, dude.
Oh,
goodness.
Let's see.
Real quick though, I had a question. Do you have the time on you?
I can.
Figured you probably have the time easier than I have the time.
It is 2:45.
2:45.
2:45 on the dot.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Perfectly 2:45.
Yep. Well, actually, it's 14:45, but we use
getting all military on me now.
That's what we use in the radio business. So.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I remember, and I was thinking about this the other day because I was looking up statistics on. It sounds a little bit unrelated. It's just kind of a funny thought. The Windows operating system, Windows XP, check this out, was released in 2009. But I was at OSSB at that time, and they had those, and I was just remembering the computers in the library.
Yeah.
Just very specific memories about them not working all the time and just getting so, like, frustrated with the computers being so slow.
I'm sure you weren't the only one. I'm sure there were a lot of people who had. Remember the computer when you walked into the library? I almost said living room. That's not what I wanted. And walked back to the middle of the library where Miss Brown had that long reading table.
Yeah.
Remember the one computer on the end? You had two on the very back end, and you had the really old one towards the front of the library at the other end of that table.
Oh, yeah. Sort of tucked away in that corner there.
Kind of, yeah. You know what operating system that had?
What did that have?
Brace yourself. 98.
Are you serious right now?
98 or 95. I'm pretty sure it was 98, and I am serious.
Oh, my gosh. I don't think I ever used that one. Or else I would have found
nobody used it.
I thought that was totally funny.
I think Jeremiah turned it on to see what it was.
I don't remember that. That's so funny. I was running, I taught myself how to run computer emulators inside of a computer, like virtual machines.
Yeah.
And I found a bunch of pre-installed drivers for like Windows XP and Windows 98 that had screeners already booted up on them. And I thought that was kind of cool. But that's hilarious. So I had no idea it ran Windows 98.
Well, it was an old beige box, so if that tells you anything.
Yeah. I don't think I ever seen that computer, actually, come to think about it.
Probably never paid attention. I did, because it was a computer.
Did. Yeah, which is weird because you think I would have noticed it, but I guess if it was never used, I wouldn't have ever thought it was there.
Yeah, true. Very true. And then let's go to concerts.
Oh, yeah, concerts. All the many different concerts for Christmas.
and spring.
Oh, yeah, we had the end-of-year concerts, too.
Correct.
Remember that now.
Yeah.
What'd you like about them?
The Christmas concerts, I like the fact that they fed us before. Well, I'm sure everybody did, because it was free, because it was for families.
Yeah,
having your family come to dinner with you.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. They did that.
They still do that, as far as I'm sure.
I think my family would usually come to the dinner, but now I'm thinking I don't remember them being there. They would always show up for the concert. I don't remember them being there for the dinners, though. But, my memory.
Yeah, memory seems to go. Memory is the first thing to go. I can't remember what the second one is.
It's funny.
Yeah. Very, very funny. Let's see.
Oh, here's one. Not anything you would remember because it's very specific to me. But in our junior and senior year, me and Ariel had the best van driver in the world. He was an old retired military veteran who drove tanks in Vietnam or something like that. And he was funny, man. He'd crack all kinds of jokes. You would like his humor. It's up your alley. But I remember there was one time he passed up my exit. Like I had two exits that would go to my house, and he passed up both of them. He's like, "Oh, it's okay. I'll get the next one." And we started talking. He's like, and he's like, "I forgot that." He's like, "I passed the other exit." He's like, "We can turn around, or I can just drop these other two off," because we had Ariel and or no, it's just Ariel. He's like, "I can drop Ariel off, and we can loop back around." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." So I didn't get home that night until it was 7 o'clock or something. And I tell that story to tell this one. It was in my senior year. It's like a year later, and he's driving to my house again, and he passed up my first exit,
and you're
then
like,
he accidentally passed up my second exit. He's like, "I am not doing this again," and he pulled his car over on the side of the interstate, threw the thing into reverse, and drove backwards down the shoulder of the interstate and got on the exit and drove down the road. He's like, "I'm not doing this again." And I almost lost it. I was like, that was amazing. That was so funny.
You're in for a joyride now.
I've never seen anyone do that before.
You're in for a joyride now.
No, it's literally what it was. He's like, "Hold on, everyone." He threw it over to the side, pulled it into reverse, and just drove backwards down the interstate. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before. Oh my goodness, that was funny though. Ariel would remember that story.
Yeah. Do you remember the rec? The nights we would do rec and go to this, I forget what it is, farm, and I think it was a farm. Pretty sure it was a farm. They had horses and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
and we had the big old bonfire.
Yeah, I remember that. It was far away too, wasn't it?
I think so.
It was like an hour and a half or so drive.
Yeah,
we would leave school leave school right as we got off of school at 3:30. Yeah, and we wouldn't get there till 4:30 or 5. I remember one year we made ice cream there.
I remember that
Were you
too.
there for that?
I think pretty sure I was there. I remember s'mores.
Yeah, they mixed the vanilla and the cow's milk and the ice, and they put it in a bag and you shook it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Right. And then, oh crud, it just left me. What was that? I hate when something comes to you and then you forget it.
You wish you had a log, like a computer, where you could just scroll back and see what you were just thinking about.
I've got one of those where I can look back, see what already aired, but that doesn't help me any. Oh, crud. Oh, the Boy Scout trip to Camp Lazarus.
The Boy Scout trip to Camp Lazarus. That was something.
That was definitely something
a lot
else.
Of fun. Fun could be one of the words you use. Interesting would be another word you could use. Momentarily hilarious quite a few times when Mr. Garris, didn't the bus get stuck?
It did get stuck, yes. Yeah. That's not the first time that bus has gotten stuck either, I know.
That guy was probably definitely underpaid to drive that bus. I swear. All the times it got stuck and all the different creative things. But he was so determined always to I got this. And he back it up.
And I think
be cuss words flying.
I think he got it stuck pretty good too, if I remember right.
Yeah, I remember we were in the bus going to the camp, and he was having a hard time getting it in because it was the roads were just made for one car, and not a big old bus. And he was having issues. I mean, it was a big bus, full size school bus, actually larger than a full size school bus because it had the wheelchair loops and everything.
Yeah, it was longer than a full size school bus. It may not have been wider, but it was longer. Yeah. Yeah,
and then I remember the next day having issues coming out of there, and I remember that whole process took almost an hour to get unstuck from the from the campsite. Oh goodness, that was fun. didn't he find a raccoon or something? I remember him screaming at the top of his lungs like a girl at 3 a.m. Token, like, what was it, a raccoon or something? You remember that?
I don't remember that, but...
You must have slept through it. He was like, woo! Get out of here! Get out of here! Throwing sticks at something.
Right.
That cracked me up. I remember that now.
We did
a lot of different things for the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, we did. We even had our own group, or a Boy Scout group there at the school for a little bit.
Yeah, it was like
with Miss Cortica.
292 or something.
Yeah, with Miss Cortica and Mr. Garris.
Yeah, they ran together. I was remembering there was a girl with us, a female staff member on the camp, and I couldn't remember who she was.
Yep, it was the PT teacher, I think. Physical therapist. One of the therapists.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I don't remember which therapist she is, but she's one of the therapists.
Yeah, either OT or PT.
Yeah, one of those two.
Went to a newspaper press. Remember that? We went to the Columbus Dispatch.
I wasn't there for that. That was on a day that I wasn't there.
Oh yeah,
must have been on
that was fun though.
It must have been on a Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday, because it was during that time when I stayed one night a week.
Yeah. They showed us the huge warehouse of newspaper papers, thousands of big reams of paper that they had. It was pretty neat. Got this cold. It's obnoxious.
Right. One of our commentary guys that does our basketball games was hacking up a lung last night for our high school basketball game that we had. So I had to.
I mean, what do you do if that happens? I mean, you got to
just let it roll. Just let it roll.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to listen to it, but what can you do?
Right. If you only got one commentator, you know.
Right.
Oh goodness.
Let's see, and then
I do have to kind of skedaddle here around 3-ish because I have work I have to do too. But
we're getting close to 3, so we'll try and wrap it up here pretty quick.
Yeah, sure. But I want to say that this was a lot of fun, though. I did enjoy recollecting with you on, because a lot of our time at the school we spent together because I think we shared the dorm.
Pretty much,
98% of the time.
Almost pretty much the entire time.
Yeah, I don't think there was too many situations where we didn't share a dorm room together. I think there was one in my junior or senior year. I shared a room with Brandon Goddard, not Goddard, the other Brandon. But there's like 3 Brandons at the school at one time, and I'm forgetting his last name.
Wasn't
Brandon something?
It wasn't Safoni because he would have been gone by then.
We still shared a room together, but he was there when you were not.
Aha, understandable. I get that. Yeah.
Brandon, I forget his name. He was there for, I think, sports practice. It wasn't Goddard because Goddard was he was funny, and I like this guy Brandon too. I just all of a sudden, wow, this last name is just totally gone, 100% gone. But anyways, yeah, we shared dorms most of the time together, and that was a lot of fun. So a lot of our memories after school, especially, were you and me made together. So
yeah, they were a lot of fun, and even the ones that weren't fun.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people it's kind of like if you imagine like going to Hogwarts. Like,
right.
Going to a school that's kind of far away from home, and you stay there most of the time. It's kind of the experience, there's a lot of studying, a lot of boring stuff that doesn't really happen. But a lot of times, we'd all get into mischief and then, break things accidentally or have a lot of fun. I remember there would be days where I would go home on, and I would run into our cottage, and I would steal a cup of coffee before I left for home. Just the small stuff, the small stuff you remember. It's just always fun.
Right. All right. We will wrap it up. Stay on the line till I get this done so I can.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So stand by. All right.
Yep, do what you got to do.
Yep. Thanks for joining us for this episode. Make sure to hit that follow button on iHeartRadio or any of the other podcast apps. Thanks for coming on this episode, Billy, and it was great talking.
Thanks for having me.
It was great talking with you. Great catching up.
Absolutely.
See you next time on the OSSB Inside and Out podcast. Have a good week.
Thanks for joining us this week on OSSB Inside and Out. Make sure to follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by searching for OSSB Inside and Out Podcast. Make sure you don't miss any future episodes. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms. Thank you for listening.